And a good afternoon and a happy Friday, and TGIF. Welcome to Number Ones at 1. And I got to tell you, I'm more excited today than I was when I got my first BB gun when I was a little kid, because joining us in Number Ones at 1 and for the show, he's a man that's put in his golden anniversary this year. 75 charted titles, 23 top 10s, 6 number ones, and in the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. He's also got the Album of the Year and Album of the Decade, 2010 Country Music Legend of the Year from Real Country Radio Network based on fan votes. What have I missed, Mr. Gene Watson?
Well, you done passed me by a long time ago.
Welcome.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for taking time to talk to me.
Well, it's a real treat because I'm always looking forward to seeing the greats come through, and I would imagine you're no stranger to these parts.
No, I've worked in Canada quite a bit in my career, thanks to all of the Canadian written songs that I've recorded, like by Ray Griff and of course Dallas Harms, and the Canadians have been real good to me.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to have you back. I showed you an old photo. We actually hooked up back in the early '90s there, and I had a little more brain and a few more brain cells, but it's
that's scary. Yeah. I saw that picture, Lord.
So I read someplace, it was on your Facebook page, that you were excited to come to Canada to get to some cooler weather. Cool enough for you?
You know, it's beautiful out there to me. It really is. I'm in short sleeves, and in fact, when I was flying up here, I had on a pair of shorts. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't like it freezing cold or snow or ice or anything like that, but it's real fresh up here to me. It feels good.
Yeah, you know,
we left like 80, 85, almost 90-degree temperature.
See, I'm a good Scandinavian. I can't handle the heat either. It just does nothing for me. So I'm right where I need to be. Congratulations, 50 years in the business, and what's the key to success and the loyalty?
I'm still looking for it. No, it don't seem like it's been that long, really. I've been, of course, when I got involved in music, I had a day job too, and I was kind of playing around with it, and of course, in 1974, we had several independent label records and around locally and everything, and of course, in 1974, we came with a song called Bad Water that got into the national charts, the first song I ever had in the national charts, and that got Capitol Records' attention. And after that, there was another song we had recorded on the same sessions called Love in the Hot Afternoon. And that got me my first major recording contract with Capitol Records. And we've been rolling ever since, thanks to you guys that play the music and, of course, the fans out there that buy. Yeah,
and I know you got a loyal following and a lot of fans, not only here in North America, but huge overseas.
Yeah, we've been going like over to England, Ireland, and all over there. At least, well, I think we've missed 1 year in about 5. But and we've already got another tour set up to go over there, and so it's good. You know, it's amazing how far away the traditional country music fans reach. You know, I mean, it's just amazing to me, and it's such a good feeling when you go over there. And these people, they won't hear all these songs that we don't do in the States because they'll be down in the albums or something like that. And these people research you, and they don't just play the ones that the record company wants them to play. They play everything. You know?
Bootleg copies and everything.
But it's, you know, when even up here in Canada, a lot of times people ask you questions when they already know the answer. So don't try to put nothing over on them, you know?
Yeah, they are definitely fanatics, and I know a lot of artists that just made a career playing overseas. That's how big country music is over there. You're a big deal here in North America, and I know I'm a huge fan of yours, and you touched on starting off in the early '70s, but you've had music in your life right from the start, because I know your family was very musical.
Yeah, ever since I can remember talking, I remember singing. And yeah, everybody in my family were singers. We all used to sing in church, and I was the only one that took it up as a profession. But all of my family were singers.
See, you used to sing in church. We used to sing along with you, and before we went to church, we'd stack our albums, and there'd always be the Gene Watson in there, and of course, you got your first big break in the 70s there. And I read someplace your brother had a very integral part of getting you started.
Well, my brother used to play with me when we were in school. I was singer and played acoustic guitar, rhythm guitar, and he played electric guitar. And we worked together there for quite a while. And him being just younger than me, he and unfortunately passed away just a few months back. But yeah, we worked together as a duo for quite a while, and then he decided music wasn't what he wanted to do, and I kept going. But boy, there's been a lot of twists and turns in my career, and I guess it takes all of that to really realize what it's all about. You know, so many artists at one time or another before their career got started worked for another artist, and I never did. I just jumped out there and boy, if there was a mistake to be made, somehow or other it found me, you know, and I learned it the hard way, but I've got a little bit of experience. So
well, that's just a testimonial to your prowess, your perfection of the art. That's what that is. That's hard work and learning from your mistakes. And
I've had a lot of luck, you know. I think that goes along with it. I'm one of very few artists that I can even think of that I've always had the freedom to pick and choose the songs that I record.
Cool.
I never had a producer or management, or I never had nobody said, "Hey, you got to record this. We want to record this. We're getting," you know. I always had, you know,
artistic control.
Yeah, I had artistic control over what I recorded and everything, and so I've had a lot of luck, I'm sure. But you know, I'm a people person. I love to meet people, and I hear what they say. I hear their stories, and I feel like if I can pick songs that people can relate to, if I can tell their life story or something, I'm gonna have their attention. You know, and I love it.
That's good. You feed off of it, and that's uncommon because most people are either led to where they're supposed to go or told what to do, and it's good to get away from that mold.
Yeah, it's written down on a piece of paper, and here's the way we do it. Not with me.
That's good. He marches to the beat of his own drum. My guest is Gene Watson, the singer in town tonight for a big show, Conexus Arts Centre, and you can get your tickets by calling 525-9999. Toll free 1-800-667-8497. Gene Watson with the Canadian Farewell Party Band and special guest Mike Pollard. This is going to be your second performance here in Canada for this tour, correct?
Yeah, we're just getting cranked up.
Just getting rolling through.
Had a great show last night with Mike and the band and everything, and looking forward to another one tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time, and I'm sure you're going to play from your brand new CD. We've had it for a while now, but it's the best of the best, 25 greatest hits, and are you going to get to them all 25?
Oh no. But really and truly, just about everything in the show, the people can buy on that very CD right there. When I was putting that CD together, we talked it all over, and I picked out. Of course, people say, "Well, how'd you come to this conclusion of this 25?" You know, and all. And well, I thought, well, you know what could be better than to do it for the people? So we took 25 of the biggest chart songs, but the most requested songs, the most loved songs, the most talked about songs, and the most that were so familiar to everybody everywhere we go. Yeah. And it was quite hard, but we condensed it down to 25 there, and we still got room to come with another one.
Well, and that's the way to go. I've been to a few shows where artists want to, you know, and there's nothing wrong getting to one or two of the songs they're going to be releasing in the future, but to play a whole 45 minutes of unknown hits when the artist has got 6 or 7 hours worth of hits that they could be playing. So we're in for a treat tonight. We're going to get to the music. You know what? Let's do one right now. Let's talk about this big number one, 14 Carat Mind. That was the game changer, was it not?
It was one of the big ones.
It was the biggie.
Yeah, I had coasted along, and actually, you know, there's so many misconceptions in the States of number ones, number twos, and threes, and everything, and what chart and all that. Actually, 14 Carat Mind was the only number one Billboard charted song I ever had. But so many before that, it included it, was number one in Record World, Record and Radios, the Gavin Report, you know, Cashbox,
Media Base. There's so many charts.
So, you know, I mean, But this one was definitely a game changer. I mean, we recorded in '81, and it turned out to be the first #1 song for the year 1982. So it was a great song, finished way up in the charts. It was a big song, written by Dallas Frazier and Larry Lee.
Right. And who pitched this to you? How'd you pick this song, or where'd you get it?
As far as I know, Dallas pitched it to me. Dallas Frazier.
Right.
He wrote it, and of course he recorded it. And I was looking for material one night, and I needed a ground shaker to really put in the album and everything. And boy, when I got to this one, Dallas was doing it. He had recorded. He was doing the demo that I heard, and I thought, wow, here's the song I've been looking for. And of course, I changed it around. I put that left-handed banging piano on it and all that stuff, and that's my own arrangement. It certainly wasn't written that way, but I changed it around to fit me, and that's how it came out. And thank goodness, if the people seemed to like it, it went #1.
It took off. Here you go. Gene Watson, 14 Carat Mind on the Source, 620 CKRM, #1s. 620 CKRM, the Source, #1s at 1. Gene Watson, my special guest here and co-host of #1s at 1. And I love about this show, Gene, is that I get to go back in time and relive the big moments of country music history. And I can often associate myself where I was on the farm or what I was doing when I hear a lot of these music and songs. And that was just a big hit. Now, you said earlier, we were talking a little bit about you're working probably more now than you were in your heyday.
Yeah, there was a time a few years back, and I really was thinking about quitting and giving it up. I really was, because country music kind of went through a change, and that don't bother me. I've been through so many fads and phases. I mean, when I started out, I went through the country crossover phase. Everybody was wanting to cut a country song that would cross over into the pop field. I went through that, the rhinestone cowboy, the urban cowboy, the hat axe. I went through the outlaw phase, and I've just been plucking along. But the young guns, when they came out, the new hot country. Well, by this time they're starting to weed out some of the guys that have been there for so long, and I was pretty down and out at that time, and I thought about giving it up. But thanks to a guy by the name of Ray Pennington, he took me in on the Power Independent Step 1 Records out of Nashville, and we recorded some stuff, got me back in the charts and back on the radio, and since then I made up my mind I'm not going to quit till the fans out there get ready for me too, and boy, we've been rolling ever since. In fact, we're real fortunate, to be filling places up, packing them out, and be in demand, and that means so much. But on the other hand, you can kind of pick and choose, and I try not to work myself too much.
Yeah. Well, I sort of said to some of the other artists I've talked to, I said, you're so lucky, you're fortunate to actually make it onto the scene when you did, because nowadays it's almost like they're creating disposable country stars, and the cookie cutters are coming out, and with the nature of the age of electronics and social medias, it seems harder and harder for somebody to get on the scene and stay there for any length of time.
Well, yeah, they have marketing devices. I mean, if you look good, if you look good in a hat, if you look good in a pair of jeans, if you got a attractive look, they don't care whether you sing or not. They can make a perfect record.
They make you sing.
Yeah, and so it's an electronic thing anymore. And back when I started, if you sung a bad note, they heard it. They didn't tune it out.
Yeah,
but it changed, and I've been extremely fortunate. I'm still in the business, and like I said, we're working more now than we were 10 years ago. And so I think all you guys that play the music, and all the fans out there that still love what I do, I appreciate that.
We appreciate the music, and the fans are so loyal. And country, it seems like the country genre, you can have one or two hits and you can make a career, a living off it. It seems like on the pop and the rock, you have that one song or that second song and you're done, you're gone. Country music fans are loyal. Yeah. Your take on the Nashville scene, we touched on a little bit. What's your take on the Nashville scene nowadays? There's so many for lack of a better term. There's so many independent labels out there now, and it used to be that you'd have the big boys, the brass, that would just pretty much control everything, but now it's all broken up. And do you like that style, or did you like the days when...
I'm doing my own thing now.
You got your own label.
Yeah, I got my own, and I really, I'm not saying anything bad about the way they do anything, you know, because really, truly, I'm not a part of Nashville except for music operations. I'm managed out of Nashville. I'm booked out of Nashville. I do all my recording in Nashville, but I still live in Texas. And so I have that time away from Nashville to actually know what's going on and what's not going on. And I thought, you know, I'm far enough along. I don't need to be running and knocking on doors. Can I record for you, or what do you think? I mean, it's worked this long for me, so why not do it on my own dime, you know? And so we decided to put this together on our own label, and that's the way we're looking right now. And there's a lot of that going on. There really is.
Are you going to sign anybody to your label? Have you thought about bringing somebody else onto your label to record?
I really haven't gotten that deep into it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't.
Right.
But you can bet if I do, they'll be able to sing. Okay. You know, we're so proud to be a part of the CRS, or you know, the CMA week in Nashville, and there's a girl in Ireland that I just got through doing a duet with in Nashville. She flew over and we recorded a song, and I think it's a great song, and she's coming over to attend some of the shows with me, and you know, if I can find talent like that, I'd sign on to my label.
That show you're talking about, the Global Event Showcase for CMA Music Festival Week, Monday, June 4th, and Tuesday, June 5th in downtown Nashville.
See, you know more about this than I do.
Yeah, but I have to put a lot of work into it.
They just tell me, be here, be here, be here, be here.
I want to play another song here, and this is probably a song that we get a lot of requests for on the dedication show at Number Ones at 1. Talking about Paper Rosie. I want to hear your thoughts on Paper Rosie, because that was they're all game changers, but tell us a little history behind that one.
That was one that I didn't know whether it would change the game or not. It actually came from Dallas Harms of Canada. He wrote the song, had a huge record up here himself. And the head of Capitol Records in Nashville was a Canadian at the time by the name of Frank Jones. And he was up here attending a seminar, and he heard the song by Dallas and thought it was a great song, but it wasn't released in the States. So he brought it back and wanted me to record it. And it took me 2 runs at it, but we finally came out with it the way it is now. And boy, it's one of the most requested songs, and of course it went number 1.
Yeah, well, you've got so many Canadian connections. I think you should get your dual citizenship.
You know, for a long time I did have a social insurance card from Canada.
Here I am worried about collecting beer cans so I can get the deposit. This is Gene Watson from his Best of the Best 25 Greatest Hits. Gene Watson, our guest. He's going to be at the Conexus Arts Centre tonight. Get your tickets. You don't want to miss this one. 525-9999. Toll free, 1-800-667-8497. Not a bad seat in the house, and I'm sure you'll be playing this one. Here's Paper Rosie. Gene Watson on The Source, 620 CKRM. Didn't that song 14 Carat Mind? Sorry, I just didn't that come? Didn't you preview that on a reel-to-reel? Wasn't it? Didn't you find it on a reel-to-reel?
Yes, I wasn't going to go that deep into the
No,
story.
I know, but I just it's sort of
this
cool.
was in the days of the cassettes, you know, and everybody was putting demos on cassettes, and I had gone through a box of tapes, man, that you would not believe. I bet I'd listened to 500 songs, you know. After we got through working one night, and we was going down the road in the bus, and I got right down to the bottom of the box and thought, wow, I'm going to get to lay down, you know, and there was one reel-to-reel box down in the bottom of that box, the old 7.5-inch tape, and I started to go to bed. I said, well, you know, if I don't listen to that, there's going to be my song.
It's going to haunt you.
And I pulled out the old reel-to-reel recorder, you know, on the bus and set it up on the table, and finally remembered how to thread it up and turned it on, and there was 14 Carat Mind.
Yeah, I actually had an artist last year running around where we were, of course, broadcasting from the Craven Country Jamboree, looking for a cassette player, and nobody had a cassette player. So I thought a little outdated looking for a cassette player. off air we were talking about being chummy with some of the other the great country stars, and you guys still do get together once in a while. You meet a few at the Grand Ole Opry, and I know you met the Hag at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and sort of a nice close family.
Yeah, I was doing a show at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville, and Haggard was there. They were doing the West Coast, the Bakersfield Sound thing there at the Hall of Fame. So he was there, and after my show, I went down and got to visit with him, and it was nice. You know, Haggard's been kind of under the weather,
Yeah.
and a lot of we've been really worried about him. But I talked to him, and he had gone through some medical procedures that turned out extremely positive, and he told me he's feeling better than he had in years, and he looked better than I'd seen him look in a long time. So that's a great sigh of relief right there.
Yeah, he was going through the tough times, but it's good to hear that. That's firsthand idea of what his condition is. So it's good to see him back on the road.
You were talking about how we get to visit and communicate with each other and everything. You know, I recorded an album titled "In a Perfect World,"
Yes.
and produced by Mr. Brent Rowan in Nashville, and a lot of the songs in this album, I got some of my favorite people that I admire in the business come by and lend their voices to it.
Such as?
Mark Chestnut.
Yes.
I mean, Vince Gill, Leanne Womack, Connie Smith, Joe Nichols. Had a lot of them on there. There's one song, the old Together Again song, that I recorded, and they talked to Miss Rhonda Vincent, and she came over and did a full duet with me on that. And what's so weird is now, through technology, you know, I had already recorded the song, so when she came in, all she did was sing harmony with what I had already recorded, and it turned out to be a duet. And I thought, wow, you know, I couldn't believe it because I didn't know they were going to do it.
Right.
And it turned out so great. Well, my next project was one called, a CD called Taste of the Truth. I kept coming across this song, you know, and it was the name was Staying Together. But it was a duet, you know, so I called Rhonda back up, asked her would she do another song with me. She said, sure. And long story short, it turned out to be a great song for us, and we got to work in some shows together, mixing my country with her bluegrass. Of course, you know,
Yeah,
she's queen of bluegrass.
Yep.
And long story short, we got to talk about it. These shows were going over so good, we thought, well, why don't we just get together and do an album? So we did. We got together and recorded a country album titled Your Money and My Good Luck.
I seen that. You're holding the cash to her and pointing.
But that's been great. You know, we've had a lot of response about that, and also we're going to be together over in Coburn, Ontario. Mr. Gary Warner, and of course Miss Linda, they're having us over there. I don't remember the date. August. It's in August 30th, I believe. But we're going to have the big show there with me and Rhonda Vincent. And I'll tell you, it's a fun show. We've worked a lot of them, and she does her thing, and I get out and do my thing. Then we do our thing, you know. And
Cool.
it's a fun thing.
Rhonda, to me, one of those most underrated performers out there. You know, she's getting the love, but not the love that I'm thinking she should have in the industry.
I'll tell you, she's a powerhouse.
Yeah. Oh, I know. She can play and sing. You hooked up with Brad Paisley for his big party, Paisley Party tour. How'd that go?
That was so scary, it was unreal. This place that he was working is just south of Memphis, Tennessee, in South Haven, and he was playing a huge place. And he had played there the year before, and of course Paisley was, you know, pretty young then in the business, and there was a journalist went out to see the show and to critique the show, I guess. And when he wrote his column, he wrote in his column, said, well, he went to see the Paisley show. It was quite good. Said he ain't no Gene Watson, you know, but he's quite good. Oh, well, you know, Brad saw this write-up, and he immediately got in touch with my management in Nashville, and said, I got to have Watson on the show. So Brad himself booked me on that show, and I came out and opened the show. It was great. You know, I loved it. And of course, Brad brought me on stage. He was the master of ceremonies, and he told me afterwards, you know, when we were talking, he said, you know, I never thought that I'd feel as good as I did when I done that, you know, because he said, I've always admired your music and all that, and he said, here I am booking you myself and bringing you on
That's
stage
it.
myself. It was quite a turn of events.
Yeah, well, that's cool. And you know, he's done wonders with little Jimmy Dickens. Like, he just appreciates the ones that, you know, paved the paths before he got there.
He's a great artist. He's one of the guys that's for real.
Yeah, he's A-okay in your books.
He can step out there behind that mic and he can do it. He don't need the Pro Tools and all that. He can do it.
We've got Brad Paisley coming to this year's Craven Country Jamboree, and that's going to be a fantastic show.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Yeah, he can play and sing, and he knows the past, where it all came from, and the future of where it's going
he's
to.
paid his dues.
Yeah, oh, definitely, for sure. I want to play another song here. I love this one here. I just lined this one up. This, of course, Love in the Hot Afternoon. I need a little history behind this one.
I was in a little place called El Dorado, Arkansas, working one night. This is years ago. It seemed like. And I mean, nobody knew who Gene Watson was or anything like that. And this song was pitched to me. It was written by Vince Matthews and Kent Westbury. And I thought, man, you know, this could be a big song. It had been recorded 6 or 7 times by different artists, but they had all of them had changed the lyric around, trying to soften it up because
It's suggestive.
This song was real suggestive for the time.
Yeah.
But I told my manager, I said, you know, I want to record this song, but I said, I don't want to change nothing. I said, I want to record it just like it is. And if it does good. If it don't, well, what have we lost, you know? And
Good for
so
you.
we did. We recorded the song, and it turned out to be so good. Got me my first major recording contract, and it's still got Kent Westbury rocking, you know. He's known it rocking Kent Westbury. Sitting there rocking, and it was a good one for us.
Well, I'm glad you stuck to your guns and recorded this one. It's sort of like Conway Twitty, you know. He'd sing those suggestive songs, and everybody's going, "Oh my God, what are you singing that for?" And they were huge hits. And you toured with Conway for a bit, so we're going to talk about that after we get through a little Love in the Hot Afternoon with Colin Lovequist, my special guest, Gene Watson, in town tonight at the Conexus Arts Centre with The Source, 620 CKRM, and number 1, 620 CKRM, The Source, Gene Watson, and Love in the Hot Afternoon. Another biggie for Gene, and we were talking about that being a suggestive song, and Conway Twitty did a lot of those. You worked with Conway Twitty.
Yeah, I did. Conway was a real good friend of mine, on stage and off. In fact, I bought a bus from him once. But
Did you have to fix it up?
Oh, it was already fixed up.
It was nice?
Yeah, it was already for the road. It was his coach. But when I first went to Nashville, after I saw that, you know, it looked like I might be involved in music, I had a couple of 3 hits. And I decided I better go to Nashville and check it all out, you know. And I hooked up with their company, United Talent, which was owned by Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. And yeah, I went on the road opening shows for them. That was before I ever had a band, you know, on the road, and we were so close that one night Conway's band would back me up, the Tweety Birds would back me up, and the next night Loretta's Coal Miners would back me up, and we'd flip-flop back and forth like that, and toured a lot of times, and I really, you know, owe a debt of gratitude to them because they had a lot to do with my career. They really did. And you know, thinking back on this stuff, boy, the 50 years start to come before your eyes. You know, I've been through quite a lot, and you know, it's just it's so good to still be involved.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank, you know, John Lytle and Sarah Brosmer at Lytle Management Group in Nashville, you know, for making it all possible. John took me in and had so many great ideas as of what's happening today, because I come from the old school, you know, and he's of course he manages Gary Allen and had Joe Nichols, and he's got other people, but he found time to take me in, and boy, we're just having a good time.
Well, I'm so glad you're here, and good afternoon and happy Friday. We hope you're enjoying the start to the weekend. Weather's going to shape up. It's going to be nice and warm, and hope you get out there and enjoy it. And of course, Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. And I said earlier, Gene, I said, make sure you buy your mom a bottle, because she's probably the reason why you drink. And had about 5 phone calls. How do you know that? I know time just flies, and it always happens during number ones at one. But I really appreciated my time spent with you here this afternoon.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm going to be your MC tonight at the show.
Great.
Looking forward to that. and Mike Pollard's going to open up.
Right.
And then you're going to come on, and what can we expect tonight on the stage? Pretty much everything we played so far and more.
Boy, I'll tell you, you know, nothing's written down in front of me. I mean, it comes right straight off the top of the head, you know. But no, we'll be doing a lot. In fact, the show is just full of those songs on that 25 Best of the Best Greatest Hits album. That's skipping along through my career, and there's so many of them on there that if I didn't sing them, well, they'd throw something at me. So we'll be doing a lot of songs from that CD. We're also going to have some out there for sale. I'll be signing autographs and shaking hands and all that good stuff. So I'd like to invite everybody to come out there. Mike will be selling some CDs and signing autographs, and we'll stay till the last one signed.
It's going to be a great show. Get your tickets, Conexus Arts Centre, 525-9999, toll-free 1-800-667-8497. Gene Watson with the Canadian Farewell Party Band and special guest Mike Poet. I know Jim Smalley standing by patiently. Thank you, Jim. We're going to get to him real quick. I've got to play one more song, and I wish I could get to more here, but I enjoy the chat. And
I've really enjoyed it. And the people that are looking for my product or anything like that they don't have or can't find, they can go to our website.
Awesome website.
GeneWatsonMusic.com.
Yeah, and there's like a biography almost of your whole life there. I thought they made a biopic of Johnny Cash, and they were working on Charlie Pride. I thought, man, Gene Watson's got a pretty interesting life there. Maybe we should do a biopic on him.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a real pleasure. And again, thanks to all the fans. I'd like to invite them all out tonight. We're going to have a big old time, and I think they'll enjoy it. Thank you for taking time to talk.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate it, buddy.
I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to the show tonight. And if you see me body surfing in the front row or two, just keep on singing, okay? Let's get to one more song here. This is a great song. And just tee up Farewell Party. I'm sure you get a lot of people writing you or emailing you or asking for this song.
Yes, so I was singing that song several years before I ever recorded it. And I wanted to record it, and I was afraid to because it was so sad, and everybody told me, oh man, you don't need to record that. And so I decided to record it at the last of a session. We were in Nashville recording an album, and we had like 20 minutes left on the clock. And so I went through the song for the musicians. I said, I'm going to record this song and get it over with, you know. And I went through the chords of the song and everything, and we rolled it once to see if the musicians had it down. Then we turned the tape machines on and got it in the first take. The original song we cut it in 15 minutes.